Another great opportunity here. Austin High scored earlier with Bo Bridges on the power play goal for the first one, and this will be a second man-up advantage for the Maroons.
Yeah, these penalties, it's going to boil down to these penalties. Who can keep from incurring them to allow the offense to work the ball down.
So the second penalty of the game, both going against Vandegrift at this point. We have two different flags on the play. This might possibly be a two-man advantage for the Maroons. We'll check the penalty calls here with the official. One is a 30-second technical foul. And the second one, and indeed, Tom, it is, as there are two men in the sin bin for the Vipers.
Number 81 is one of them.
And number 81, that's Jack Weaver, along with number 16, Wyatt Martin. Martin in the penalty box for the second time in this opening quarter. So you can say what you want, folks, but Wyatt Martin playing some very aggressive, possibly a little too aggressive, but very aggressive defense here this morning at Magnolia High School. And now a rare two-man advantage for the Austin Maroons.
They know what it's like to lose to this other team here, and the taste is not good.
And a save there by the goalkeeper. Vandegrift will move the ball forward. And, folks, we want to take a moment and welcome those of you who just joined us into today's broadcast here at Magnolia West High School. Brian Shackelford alongside Tom McGee as we are bringing you exclusive coverage of the 2024 Texas High School Lacrosse League State Championships here on Game On Sports. We are into the first quarter. We have just over 3 minutes left in the first quarter of today's first match of the day here at Magnolia West. This is one of the two Class A state semifinals between the Leander Vandegrift Vipers and the Austin High Maroons. Your score here with 3 minutes to play in the first. Vandegrift Vipers 3, Austin Maroons 1. And you've walked into a great situation here as you join us, folks, because the Austin Maroons we're on a two-player advantage. The first penalty has expired, so still a one-man advantage. And a shot, and capitalizing right there, a goal for the Austin Maroons with the tally, number 16, Owen Watley, and they've reduced the lead to a single goal.
That was caused by an overthrow from the goalie at the outset. Turned around, gave it back to the Maroons. They brought it down and made something happen.
And the Austin Maroons scoring on both power play opportunities they've had so far this morning. And the score with 2:46 to play in the first quarter. Vandegrift Vipers 3, Austin High Maroons 2.
Yeah, they're giving us a tight game, and we expected nothing less, Brian.
And a loose ground ball, still not a clean face-off win, but this one goes to number 10 for the Vipers, as Leander Vandegrift will control once again. They work on the far side goal line extended. That's number 40 with the ball. That Noah Reitman, one of the midfielders for Vandegrift, and he'll dump off. They'll reset the offense with Braden Reed, one of the goal scorers this morning for Vandegrift. So 3 goals in the match so far for Vandegrift. Individual goals by Roney, Reed, and Stevens to give them a 3-2 advantage in this state semifinal. They go back in X with number 47, Aiden Kemp. He'll wrap around, shoot. And that ball just wide of net. That just barely missed, Tom. Yes. No one back in X. Turnover to the Austin Maroons.
The goalies seem to be on it, though, regardless of where it ended up. Shows how much confidence they have in this goalie.
So a nice save there by Haynes Morrison. He'll try to get Austin back to work on offense. And Harrison Dean will control for the Maroons as we have 100 seconds to play in the opening quarter of this Class A state semifinal. They work down the far side goal line extended. Shot clock at 65 and a whistle as Austin High will take timeout. 92 ticks remain in our opening quarter of this Class A state semifinal here at Magnolia West High School. It's Vandegrift Vipers 3, Austin Old High Maroons 2. And while we have a moment here during the break, folks, we'd like to remind you that Game On wants to thank one of our sponsors for this weekend's games, Next Gen Audio Video. Next Gen Audio Video has been serving the North Dallas area since 2010 with services that include home theater design and installation. Folks, you'll have peace of mind knowing that all of your audiovisual needs are in the hands of people who care. Check out more from Next Gen Audio Video at their website, nextgenaudiovideo.com. Game on Sports would also like to thank one of our sponsors for this weekend's Texas High School Lacrosse League State Championships, Big Bad Carts. Big Bad Carts will do custom golf carts with only the best parts the industry has to offer. From mild to wild, they can do it all from their offices in Salina, Texas. You can check out more on their website at bigbadcarts.com. And I'll tell you what, Tom, that cart that we have this weekend from Big Bad Carts has been doing a lot of heavy lifting, and it's a pretty wild-looking machine they let us borrow this weekend.
It served us well. We've needed every bit of the horsepower that awesome cart has been able to allow.
It's definitely able to help a couple old men get way up here high in the stands at Magnolia West High School.
Who you calling old?
That would be me. As one of my favorite movies says, guilty, Your Honor, but with a really good excuse. We'll resume play here. Each team has spent a timeout. So each team with just one timeout remaining in the game. High school lacrosse, you receive 2 timeouts for the entire game. And that right there, Tom, shows you just how critical this chance is for Austin High to even the score here with 1:16 to play in the first quarter. They move inside, a shot off the side of the net. The Old High faithful were cheering, but Tom, I believe that's what we know in the parlance as a mom goal. It was off the outside of the net.
Just short, just off the cage, like you said. Good shot nonetheless.
Number 66, Hollister Stevens will control for the Vipers as we move under 1 minute remaining here in the first quarter of today's Class A state semifinal. The other state semifinal taking place right now over at Magnolia High School. And you can also watch that here on Game on Sports. While you've got the opportunity to put both games on your screen, go ahead and turn down the volume on that other game and listen to us here as we give you the call between Vandegrift and Old High. But that other game taking place right now at Magnolia High School between St. John's and Kincaid. And the winners of these 2 games will meet in tomorrow's Class A state championship at high noon over at Magnolia High School. And we're down to 20 seconds to play in the first quarter. And the Maroons now in control on offense. Harrison Dean moves the ball into the middle. They'll go goal line far side, looking to tie the score. Deflected away. Great save there by Charlie Mudlaff. And is that a goal? It is. Off the rebound. Goal for number 6, Tate Bryce. And, Tom, we've got it all tied up here with less than 10 seconds to play in the first quarter.
They patiently moved the ball.
Oh, no, pardon me. That's a second goal for Blake Bridges. Or, no, here's the rebound. Right there on the replay, that's number 6, Tate Bryce. And, indeed, it was Bryce with the third goal for the Maroons.
That was a good play, knowing that the quarter's almost over. They still moved the ball patiently and made the shot.
Face-off at the center circle. A ground ball opportunity as Old High will control. Just 3 seconds to play in the quarter. Still a loose ground ball as the horn sounds, ending our first quarter of play. Well, folks, if this first 12 minutes is any indication, you want to stay right in your seat. We haven't decided anything yet. We're through 12 minutes of action here at Magnolia West High School. Leander Vandegrift Vipers 3, Austin Old High Maroons 3. Back with the second quarter in just a moment on Game On Sports Network. And folks, we welcome you back here to Magnolia West High School alongside Tom McGee. Brian Shackelford here bringing you all of the exciting action in this Class A state semifinal between Leander Vandegrift and the Austin Old High Maroons, and a goal with just 6 seconds to play in the first quarter tied it up at 3 as Vandegrift back on the attack to open quarter number 2.
You know, I think Austin High School is the oldest high school in Texas. Have you heard that, Brian?
Yes, Austin High School, I believe, founded in 1848. So the oldest high school in the state of Texas, hence its nickname Old High that you've heard me use a couple of times. And they have earned that distinction quite honorably as the oldest and still, well, definitely the oldest continually functioning high school here in the state of Texas. I'm sure other high schools have come and gone, but no other high school in the state open for 180 years. And number 18,
Connor Stevens was in on that one.
Yeah, his second goal of the match. And Tom, that comes with just under a minute gone as we'll take a look here on the replay. It's now 4-3 in favor of the Vandegrift Vipers. Now deflected off the net of Morrison. Looked like he was looking that all the way into the big net, but it went right off the rim of the net and over his left shoulder into goal to give Vandegrift the 4-3 advantage.
Important thing is it counts.
They do all count. And now the face-off on the exclusive Game On Sports face-off cam. Still a loose ground ball. So you had mentioned that in the open, Tom. Ground balls appear to be at a premium here this morning in the state semifinal as Harrison Dean will finally control for Austin High, and now the Maroons on the attack. As we've got just over a minute gone here in quarter number 2, another loose ground ball, and the whistle will give the ball back to the Maroons. They'll play the advantage. Shot clock down to 60.
Watch for Harrison Dean to make something happen. He's their leading scorer.
They'll work the ball into X as the shot clock approaches 50. Austin High has not led to this point in this game, but they have come back to tie it twice. They tied it at 2, and then that goal at the end of the first quarter to tie it at 3. Shot from distance. Knocked away from the net by Charlie Mudlaff, the goalkeeper for the Vipers. And Old High will bring the ball back into play. They have 35 on the shot clock. And it looks like, Tom, that's the third or fourth time we've seen players from both teams slip and fall on this turf here at Magnolia West. Not sure if that's the high humidity here today in the Austin area or shoe selection, but it looks like some slick turf down there this morning in the semifinal.
I walked down on that field prior to the game, and it seemed to me, Brian, just to be a little bit slick. But you're right, it depends on the footwear as to the traction they'll get.
Well, Vandegrift controlling goal line extended on the far side. Once again, Connor Stevens with possession. He already has 2 goals on the game. Looking for the low scooper for the hat trick. That's knocked away by Haynes Morrison, the Maroons goalkeeper. Now Old High will control. The long stick midi on the near side, number 10, Chad Morrison. Brother of Haynes will move that ball forward. And now controlling for Austin High, and that's number 16, Owen Watley. One of the 3 goal scorers in the game for the Maroons. Shot clock at 60 for Old High, as they have another opportunity here to knot the score at 4.
They're setting up, took their time. I thought Watley was going to go to the cage because he didn't have any defenders on him. They're going to go with their basic game plan.
And was that a goal before it was waved, before the whistle blew? No, the officials had called a foul before the goal, so the goal disallowed by the officials. No goal there for Austin High.
That may come back to haunt them.
Yeah, make a note of that at the 8:50 mark of the second quarter, as charging across the midfield stripe, number 6, Kelvin Lewis. Lewis working with number 5, Braden Reed on the attack for Vandegrift.
Trying to make something happen.
They work on the near side goal line extended with number 18, once again, Connor Stevens. And Stevens goes all the way back up top with number 1, Matt Draken. Shot clock down to 35 for the Vipers, as they have slowed the tempo here on this possession in the second quarter. Stevens with a shot from distance, and he'll billow the back of the net. That's a hat trick on the afternoon with 8:02 to play before halftime for Stevens. It's now Vandegrift 5, Old High 3 in this state semifinal.
Just a good split seam ball into the net, top shelf, beautiful shot.
And with that shot, the hat trick for Stevens. Vipers 5, Old High Maroons 3 with 8:02 to play before halftime. This is matching the largest lead of the day for the Vandegrift Vipers.
Vipers come up with it after all, Brian.
Yeah, the face-off control. I mean, you've got to give credit. These face-offs have been very well contested all afternoon. So equality in the face-off circle here for both teams is now working in X. Kemp, but he has the ball taken away. Nice work there by the long stick midi for the Maroons, number 11, Nelson Wright, to give Austin High possession with 7.5 to play before halftime.
Yeah, the Maroons needed that turnover, Brian. They've got to make something happen to keep the Vipers from extending this lead.
5-3 lead for Vandegrift as we play lacrosse here with 7:15 to play in the second quarter. Working down the near sideline, goal line extended for the Maroons, number 20, Trent Gray. He'll take the ball into X, marked by number 16 for the Vipers, Wyatt Martin. Comes all the way back around, back up top to number 12, Sam Ramberg. Ramberg shot from distance, deflected wide by the goalkeeper, Mudlaff. And possession remains with Old High, 40 on the shot clock. And the game clock moves under 7 minutes to play in the half.
Watch Maroons be patient, looking for the open man.
A cross check. The officials let that goal moving in just over the top of the crossbar. Nice work there by Tate Bryce to get inside the defender, Jack Weaver, and he bounces that shot off the top of the crossbar.
That was a beautiful try there.
The shot clock,
they retain possession.
Shot clock to 15 for the Maroons. They need to do something here, and that shot on goal, they were running out of time. And a desperation attempt there by the Maroons, easily into the big net of number 31, Charlie Mudlaff. And now Vandegrift back on the attack with 6:15 to play in the half. Some feet get crossed up as the ball back down goal line extended to number 18, Connor Stevens. Or pardon me, it's 2 timeouts per half in high school lacrosse. And it appears we're going to take a timeout here. So we'll step aside. 6:12 to play before halftime in our first of 3 games on the day. Vandegrift Vipers 5, Austin High 3. Back in a moment on Game On Sports Network. Folks, we welcome you back here to Magnolia West High School. Brian Shackelford and Tom McGee giving you coverage of this first Class A state semifinal, the other state semifinal occurring right now over at Magnolia High School between Houston St. John's and Houston Kincaid. We'll try to get you a score in that game when we have a moment. As the 2 Class A state semifinals, and I like how they do this, Tom. They play both of the Class A state semifinals at the same time on Saturday. And so those teams come equally matched. The winners of the semifinals do into the championship game, which we'll have here on Game On Sports tomorrow at high noon Central.
It's going to be exciting as the trail leading up to that juncture is phenomenal as we're witnessing here today.
Indeed, in this game we have Austin Vandegrift. Leander Vandegrift. They were the number 2 seed out of 14 teams coming into the Class A playoffs. They received a bye in the regional round and defeated the number 7 seed Rockwall High School 17-8 in the state quarterfinal to punch their ticket into this game. As the officials are having a discussion over on the far sideline, clock stopped as we've moved just past the midway point of this second quarter. It looks like they might be waving the penalty off. Sideline infraction. I saw a technical, and it is indeed that they're just going to switch the player in the penalty box.
Nice.
So the third man-up opportunity of the game for Old High, as number 5, Braden Reed, will serve the penalty for sideline interference against the Viper bench.
This should give the Maroons a chance to get down there and make something happen to shave the lead down to 1.
A 30-second technical penalty, man-up advantage here for Old High. They will have a fresh 80 on the shot clock, as once the officials have sorted this out, now the clock moving, so 30 seconds for the Maroons to make something happen. Game clock at 5:45 to play before halftime. And not much alacrity here by Old High, as Harrison Dean on the far side. They'll work it around. Now they'll start the rotation. 20 seconds in the penalty remaining. Looking for a hole in that Vandegrift defense. A shot on goal, knocked away by Mudlaff, the goalkeeper. And that ball scooped up by the Maroons. They will control, and they get a fresh 80 on the shot clock. Another shot high over the top of goal. And as the penalty expires, both teams back at equal strength. Austin High will still have the ball. They've got 70 on the shot clock.
Yeah, they weren't able to capitalize on the man-down situation, but they've retained possession and had a couple shots on goal so far.
A nice play there by the long stick midi number 23, Jack Slabage, to block the shot by Owen Watley. And now Vandegrift in control once again with less than 5 minutes to play in the first half. So Vandegrift now with possession and an opportunity to open up their largest lead of the game. They've led by 2 twice in this game, Tom, and now they've got a chance to make it a 3-goal advantage.
Yeah, they're taking their time.
A shot wide by number 6, Kelvin Lewis. And the ball brought back into play by number 47 for Vandegrift, Aiden Kemp. Kemp on the far side with number 5, Braden Reed. The shot clock under 50. And I'm not sure, I think it was a little bit frenetic pace for both teams in the first quarter, Tom, but it looks like both Vandegrift and Old High going into that defensive mentality here in the second quarter that you spoke about in the open, that they have slowed down the offensive pace here, looking for just the right quality opportunity.
Yeah, they're moving the ball around wisely, and that was an outside shot that was off the mark, but look for them to work the ball in as the game progresses.
And a whistle here against Vandegrift will give Austin High possession. Just over, or no, pardon me, Vandegrift with possession, excuse me. And Connor Stevens will control as we hit 4 minutes to play in the first half of this state semifinal in Class A. Vandegrift leading 5-3 over Austin High. Charging in number 1, Matt Draken. And Draken's shot, nice save there by the goalkeeper, number 1, Haynes Morrison for Old High. As Draken, a junior for the Vipers, 11 goals and 18 assists on the season. But that left-handed shot from Draken, no problem for Haynes Morrison, the Maroons goalkeeper.
Yeah, he was on the ball and ready for that one to come on in. Nice save.
And a shot by the Maroons, saved by Charlie Mudlaff, as he'll add to his 150 saves on the season coming into this game. And now the ball coming across the timeline brought by number 22, Cooper Putman. Inside, opportunity and a goal for Austin Vandegrift. Number 2, Wells Roney with his second tally. And this is the Vipers' first 3-goal lead of the match.
Just a beautiful shot by Wells Roney. Got the ball, looked at it, took the right shot. He's going to Lake Forest in Chicago to further his lacrosse career, and they're glad to still have him on this team ready to roll, and he rolled on that one.
And Roney with his second goal of the afternoon, 3:14 to play in the second quarter. Vandegrift Vipers 6, Old High Maroons 3. The first clean face-off win of the day for either team by number 8, Cove Kralich. And the ball lost out of bounds, so an unforced error there on the Austin High Maroons. And the last thing they wanted to do after giving up goal number 6 to the Vipers, they give possession right back to Vandegrift.
You know, it's a shame to see that happen because this is becoming a critical point in the game. Even though we're 3 minutes away from halftime, Maroons got to get a turnover and get the ball back down on their end of the field.
No, exactly. This is an opportunity here where they have to keep this at a 3-goal advantage, because you can't win the game in the first half, but you can certainly lose the game in the first half if you let the other team get too far away.
You can set the pace. That's a good analogy, Brian. They've got the disadvantage right now, but that good block shot, here come the Maroons.
And a shot there over the shoulder by Braden Reed, scooped up by Haynes Morrison, the Maroon goalkeeper. So the Austin High defense effective on that possession. And now a loose ground ball no control there, now controlled by Vandegrift. So another opportunity for Old High gets away, and a shot from distance. Bouncing over the top of the net, no one in X for the Vipers. And Old High brings the ball back into play, 2:14 to play in the half.
Yeah, they're fortunate that didn't go, because the goalie was wide open for a shot on goal.
That ball was on target and missed the goal just a little bit to the left as they caught Morrison out of pocket on that shot. They come goal line extended on the near side, do the Maroons, working with 63 on the shot clock as the game clock moves under 2 minutes to play in the first half. And Old High desperately needs a goal here to trim this 3-goal advantage, Tom.
Yeah, I think they're seeing the severity of this and the urgency.
The wraparound from X by number 6, Tate Bryce. He'll go in the middle. Oh, a backhanded shot.
That would have been pretty.
Would have been pretty if it had gone in, but it goes across the goal mouth and is controlled by number 5, Braden Reed for the Vipers. I'm going to make that number 3, Kyle Baxter. So now Vandegrift in control, 68 on the shot clock, 82 on the game clock. As number 18, Connor Stevens, takes up his residence here on the goal line, extended area on the near sideline. So Vandegrift with the last 3 goals in this match, as this game was tied 3-3 at the end of the first quarter. All the scoring here in quarter number 2 by the Vandegrift Vipers. And as we hit 1 minute to play in the first half, it's an opportunity for Vandegrift to go up by 4.
Yeah, the Vipers are not seeing any sense of urgency right now. They're just trying to work the ball in as wisely as they can with under a minute to play.
A 15-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Shot clock down to 25. Game clock at 42 men in X for the Vipers. Coming out of X on the far side, number 33, Chase Phillips. He'll go back up top with Matt Draken, number 1. Back to Phillips. Shot clock down to 13. Looking for Stevens on the inside, and a great play by the long stick midi for the Maroons. And he'll just send the ball all the way down. Mudlaff will control, 20 seconds to play. And there's still time here on the clock for the Vipers to get another goal. But that pass, as the goalkeeper Mudlaff trying to get it all the way down to Connor Stevens, and the bounce. Stevens just in the wrong spot, and it's Maroons ball with 13 ticks to play in the half.
Let's see if they can make something happen. This is a desperate time right now with a 3-point margin being behind.
An 80-yard pass right into the cross of Tate Bryce. And the ball across the end line. Just a single second remaining here in the first half. And it appears possession will be given to Vandegrift. Mudlaff will walk the ball into play, and the horn sounds, bringing us to halftime. Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of the first half of play here at Magnolia West High School, as Game On Sports Network brings you live exclusive coverage of today's Texas High School Lacrosse League Class A state semifinal. And your score as we go to the halftime break here in Magnolia. It's Leander Vandegrift Vipers 6, Austin Old High Maroons 3. And Tom, the second quarter has made all the difference. It was 3-3 at the end of 1, and 3 unanswered goals by the Vipers give them their largest lead of the game here at the halftime break.
I tell you, there's a lot to be said about these Vipers. They know the feeling of what it is to lose to these Maroons, and they came to play today. And the Maroons, I would suspect, will circle the wagons, and we'll have something to react to in the second half.
And folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back with highlights and analysis. Vipers 6, Maroons 3 at halftime. You're watching Texas High School Lacrosse League Championship Saturday on Game On Sports Network.
Our all-district defender, Junior Will Hill, and our all-district midfielder, Junior Sam Rambert. For Vandegrift, I'd like to recognize our all-state senior midfielder, KJ Lewis, and our all-district senior attendant, Connor Stevens. Congratulations, gentlemen. That's quite the honor.
inside to your side, 'cause I can't help but confuse the things you want me to do for what I wanna accomplish in life.
And ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back here to Mustang Stadium at Magnolia West High School. This is Brian Shackelford alongside Tom McGee. And Tom, as we get ready for the second half of this very exciting Class A state semifinal between the Austin High Maroons and the Leander Vandegrift Vipers, a big second quarter for Vandegrift. They score 3 unanswered goals. It was tied at 3 at the end of 1, and now Vandegrift with their largest lead of the game at 6-3 as we're just about set for the third quarter here at Mustang Stadium.
You know, in talking with Coach Tim Troutner, he's the third-year coach here for Vandegrift. He was talking about possessions and how possessions are going to win this ball game, and so far it's been proven that's been the case. Been a fair share of turnovers on both ends, but by and large, the Vipers have controlled the ball and gotten the shots on goal.
No, they've been controlling the face-off circle, and by proxy, they've been able to put a lot more shots on the net, which is why they have the 6-3 advantage here to start the third quarter. But Austin High with the big upset to punch their ticket into this semifinal. In the regional round, they defeated Bel Air Episcopal 10-12, but as the 6th seed, they come in as the 6th seed in the playoffs. And a big upset last week in the state quarterfinal in the regional tournament, defeating Allen High by a single goal, 8-7, to punch their ticket into today's game. And just like the last game when they defeated Vandegrift on Vandegrift's home turf by a single goal, it looks like it could be, they're no stranger to coming from behind and winning by 1, so we could have a very epic close here in the second half of today's game at Mustang Stadium.
Absolutely. And talking with the Maroons coach as well, he knew this was going to be a fast-paced ball game, which so far it has, but they've got to win the ground balls. They've got to win more face-offs, and they've got to clear the ball. And I think if they can put these 3 factors together, it's going to be an exciting second half.
And for those of you wondering who the opponent for the winner here today might be, we've got an update for you, a halftime score from Magnolia High School. Houston St. John's 5, Kincaid 3. So the winner of that game taking place right now on Game On Sports Network over at Magnolia High School, about 6 miles away. St. John's with the halftime lead, and the winner of that game will face off against the winner of the game we have for you right here at Magnolia West. That game will be at Magnolia High School tomorrow afternoon, and we'll have that game for you live right here on Game On Sports. Pre-game show at 11:55 a.m. and the face-off of the Class A state championship tomorrow on Game On Sports at high noon Central Daylight Time. But the opponents in that game still have yet to be decided, as a 3-goal lead here to start quarter number 3. I mean, we've heard it many times. No lead is safe in lacrosse, so 3 goals, certainly not an insurmountable deficit here as Austin High is ready to start the third quarter.
Yeah, it's a doable situation for these Maroons. They're going to rely on number 9, Harry Dean. He's been dubbed All-American, and they're going to really have to rely on him in this second half.
So 6-3 the advantage for Vandegrift. The face-off to start quarter number 3 controlled by the Vipers. And Leander Vandegrift striking right away. Kemp passing up the shot instead. He'll dish off to number 2, Wells Roney. And they go all the way back up top as you can see the patience there. Now Kemp with another attempt at a shot. Nice work there by the long stick midi for Austin High. I believe that was number 11, Nelson Wright. But you could see there that Vandegrift opting for patience because Kemp had a shot on goal and he passed it up to set up the Viper offense.
Yeah.
So that shot deflecting off the side post into goal for Leander Vandegrift. And that's the first goal of the match for number 47, Aiden Kemp. And the Vandegrift Vipers extend their lead.
They just took their time. It was patience. Here comes the ball, and in the goal it went.
Yeah, Aiden Kemp circling around the goal and popping right back in. They had tried to run that same play just a moment before and were unsuccessful, but this time Kemp gets inside the defense, wide open look against the goalkeeper, Haynes Morrison. And as a result, it's now Vandegrift Vipers 7, Austin High Maroons 3. Another face-off win for Vandegrift.
Yeah.
So that is what we've seen so far, or at least in my mind. The main differences here is that Vandegrift has been controlling the face-off circle, and they've been controlling the possession here at least since the beginning of the second quarter. Now a bounce shot by number 9, Harrison Dean, as Dean yet to get his name in the scorebook, but a nice attempt there by Dean for Austin High. Another wraparound attempt, just wide of goal. 50 on the shot clock for Austin High as they'll bring the ball back into play. And we have just over a minute gone here in the third quarter of this state semifinal.
Let's see if the Maroons can make something happen here, Brian, from behind the cage as they patiently move it around.
Look there, just over the top of the crossbar by number 12, Sam Ramberg. And that's either the third or fourth shot today, Tom, that Austin High has just not gotten down far enough to go into the net, just barely over the top of the crossbar. Shot from distance, and a crease violation against Austin High will give Vandegrift possession with 10.5 to play here in quarter number 3. So an opportunity there squandered by the Maroons.
I'm glad to see the Maroons take these shots on goal, though. They're not afraid to shoot, and they're in it for the long haul, and we still have plenty of lacrosse to play here.
Oh, indeed. We've just 80 seconds gone here in the third quarter as Vandegrift trying to get the ball across the timeline in time, and instead an unforced error creates a ground ball, but the ground ball win for number 40, Noah Reitman. So what looked to be a turnover for Vandegrift allows them to keep the ball. They have 55 on the shot clock and an opportunity to blow this game open with another goal.
Yeah, and they're making some ample substitution, these Maroons are, to further heighten their defense, to speed up the offense.
Working on the far side, that's number 6, Kelvin Lewis, goal line extended. He'll try to wrap around in the middle with number 16, Wyatt Martin. They come to the near side now. Number 5, Braden Reed. Low shot, and Braden Reed will bounce that ball in past Morrison. It's Reed's second goal of the match, and it's now a 5-goal advantage. 5 unanswered goals since the beginning of the second quarter for the Vandegrift Vipers.
Yeah, you got to hand it to them. They're moving the ball around well. They, too, are not afraid to shoot on goal. They move the ball patiently, get it down towards the cage, and they're taking the shot, and the score's reflecting their success.
And you see the replay there as they double-check to make sure that went in the net, and it did. And the face-off win, clean for number 41, Banyan Frug. And Fruga with the face-off win for Vandegrift will restart the Viper offense immediately. And that's something Austin High can ill afford. The shot by Fruga just wide. And the ball brought back into play from X by Wells Roney.
Yeah, Fergie stepped up to play today. He's one they really rely on.
And now Roney controlling on the near side. He's going to take it all the way back up top. As the Vipers now with their largest lead of the game at 8-3 will slow things down on the offensive side. 50 on the shot clock. Yeah, Fruga with 211 faceoff wins this season coming into this afternoon's action. He obviously, as the FOGO specialist, leads the Vipers in that category. But he also, something you don't normally see for a FOGO specialist, he leads the Viper team with 107 ground ball wins.
Yeah, he's done well. He's done well all season long, and they expect a lot out of him, and he delivers.
So now Austin High with a shot here to bite into this Viper lead with 8:45 to play in the third quarter. And the Maroons need some offense to keep this game close, as they are looking to punch their ticket to the state championship game tomorrow afternoon. Working in X, number 20, Trent Gray. He'll get a screen in X from Harrison Dean. Now the ball dislodged, loose ball, ground ball opportunity. And another ground ball win for Vandegrift as Jack Slabage with the ball, but now it ends up in the cross of number 14, Noah Calhoun. So it's been the faceoff wins and the ground ball wins that have made the difference here for the Vipers this afternoon.
Yeah,
this morning.
The Maroons can't afford to make those type of mistakes, Brian, and it's what's kind of been hindering them this whole game, and the score reflects that.
So Vandegrift now controlling on offense as Kemp will take the ball back up top. Usually he's behind the goal, but this time he'll work up top with number 19, THSLL. Down the far side, that's number 6, Lewis for the Vipers. Roney now in X, and Lewis will just take it himself down the sideline, put it into the net, and the Vandegrift Vipers have blown this game wide open. 6 unanswered goals since we were tied at 3. Vipers 9, Maroons 3, 7:38 to play in the third.
Yeah, you can't leave Lewis open on that. He's a senior and the captain of the team. He transferred to Vandegrift this year from Seattle, and he's a 2024 All-State midfield. He made something happen. That was a beautiful shot.
So now Vandegrift continues to extend their lead, 9-3 now the advantage. As they had scored 3 unanswered goals in the second period, Tom, they've now scored 3 unanswered goals in the third, and we still have 7:38 to play in quarter number 3. So the foul call there will give Austin High possession. As controlling for Austin High coming down the near side, number 24, John Burns.
It's been a while since these Maroons have scored. They've got to start making something happen pretty soon, or the clock's going to become a factor.
Still plenty of lacrosse to be played at this point as we approach the 7-minute mark to go here in quarter number 3, but a goal here would go a long way to helping the Maroons' cause. Goal line extended, now moving into X, number 7, Robert Bridges. And the errant pass headed back toward midfield. And the turnover to Leander Vandegrift.
Tough turnover.
So now Vandegrift back on offense. And it looks like things may be starting to get just a bit chippy down there on the entrance, down there in the gate for both teams.
I don't think they've been down when they lost to the Vipers during the regular season. I don't think the score was this broad yet.
No, the scores in the regular season a little bit closer. Well, Vandegrift won the first game at Austin High 16-9. And then Austin High returning the favor on Vandegrift's home turf, a win by a single goal, 9-8. Or pardon me, 10-9. A quick shot there by Kemp, deflected wide by Morrison, goes out of bounds. And the officials rule that Vandegrift will maintain possession, although from our vantage point here, it looked like the long stick midi for the Maroons had the advantage.
Yeah, we didn't have a good shot, a good sight on that one.
And this matchup here today, a rematch, Tom, of one of the 2021 Class A state semifinals when Vandegrift defeated Austin High 9-8. And there's another goal for the Vipers. Number 1, Matt Draken with his 12th goal of the season. And it's now double digits for the Vandegrift Vipers.
Just basic lacrosse happening out there. They're making the good passes.
So Matt Draken puts his name in the scorebook now. Vandegrift Vipers 10, Austin High Maroons 3. And we are not yet to the midway point of this third quarter.
Draken, of course, a junior. He plays left-handed. And he also plays on the varsity football team, as you mentioned. Has 11 goals and 18 assists.
So now the most scoring for either club in this fourth quarter or third quarter, 4 goals for Austin Vandegrift. And we have just passed the midway point of quarter number 3. Vandegrift controlling once again, Tom, and a goal here for the Vandegrift Vipers, and this semifinal could be getting out of hand for Austin High.
It absolutely could.
So charging in, number 1, Matt Draken, the last goal scorer, looking just outside the crease there for Aiden Kemp. Very reminiscent of the play that Vandegrift ran about 3 minutes ago for Kemp's goal. And now the ball coming in from X on the far side. That's number 18, Connor Stevens, with a shot. And now Draken brings the ball back in. In fact, he'll defer and allow Kelvin Lewis to bring the ball in for the Vipers. The shot clock at 40 for Vandegrift. Back up top to Roney. Roney already with 2 goals in the game. As he'll take his time on the near side, go back into X with Draken. So this possession a little bit faster paced for Vandegrift as now Draken gets a chance, breaks away. And the turnaround shot just wide of goal as Wells Roney brings the ball back into play, down to 24 on the shot clock for Vandegrift.
Maroons have got to create a turnover here and get the ball back down on their end of the field. They expect to make things happen here.
So charging in from the far side goal line extended, a low rolling shot by Connor Stevens, scooped up by Haynes Morrison, the goaltender for the Maroons. And Austin High will thwart that offensive effort by Vandegrift. And And they get the ball back to midfield, charging ahead, just over 4.5 to play in the third. The Maroons need a goal, bouncing one off the post. That had some mustard on it, Tom, because that rebound came out farther than where Harrison Dean took the shot.
Yeah, and that's got a sting, too, being that close.
He had some zip on that from 30 yards out, and the rebound comes 38 yards out from goal. But the Maroons continue to control. They get a fresh 80 on the shot clock. And as we're down to 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter, you had talked about the clock beginning to become the enemy of the Maroons, and I think here they desperately, this has to be a must-score situation for the Maroons.
It's just got to be, and I know they know that.
And bouncing one through the legs of Midlaff and off the crossbar. Another great shot attempt there by Harrison Dean. But it does not go in the net. Austin High still controls 40 on the shot clock.
Good play on Maroons' part to keep that ball in play.
Tate Bryson X going back up top with number 20, Trent Gray. Shot clock down to 30 as Gray will charge in, shoot, and score. So that's the goal right there that the Maroons needed, as Trent Gray with the first goal for Austin High since the last 3 seconds of the first quarter. It's now Vandegrift Vipers 10, Austin High Maroons 4.
Yeah, Gray's their senior midfielder. He's not afraid to take a shot.
Gets a good look right here as you see on the replay, goes high over the right shoulder for Mudlaff, rather. And with 3:29 to play here in the third quarter, this could be the comeback for the Maroons as they now trail 10-4.
Need to win this face-off.
A struggle for the face-off, and the ground ball still available. Who wants it? And that's finally scooped up by the Maroons. Charging forward, a shot from distance saved Mudlaff. As putting that ball on goal right away, number 28, Matthew Skosh.
Didn't have quite the zip he wanted on that shot.
Saved by number 31.
And of course, the goalie was able to deflect it. And the Vipers are on the move again.
And now Vandegrift bringing the ball down as we move under 3 minutes to play in the third. And of course, the Vipers in no hurry, Tom, as they enjoy a 6-goal advantage in this Class A state semifinal. In fact, patiently waiting up top for the offense to set, that's number 19, Tate Self. Self marked by the goal scorer, Trent Gray, for Austin High. Back in X now, once again with Aiden Kemp. Wells Roney on the near side goal line extended.
Yeah, the Vipers are just patiently going to wait, run out the clock as they can, and hopefully get somebody open and yet take another shot.
And a foul away from the ball called by the official on the far sideline. And possession will be given to Austin High. Although Austin High tried to play the advantage, but the referee will make them come back and reset with 2:25 remaining in the third.
I think that spark is what the Maroons needed, and I think they're going to make hay with this.
A chance here to cut it down to a 5-goal advantage would do wonders for the Maroons' cause. As the long stick midi for the Maroons will bring the called ball across midfield. Setting up the play, number 10, Chad Morrison. Now a whistle. And we've got a timeout taken by Austin High. 2:10 remains in our third quarter here in the Class A state semifinal. Vipers 10, Austin High Maroons 4. We'll be back in a moment on Game On Sports Network. come back now out of the timeout to live action. The Austin High Maroons in control with just over 2 minutes to play. They trail by 6, but they have possession here with just under 60 on the shot clock. The Maroons needing a goal here to trim the lead to 5 as we move under 2 minutes to play in the third. That shot off the post by Harrison Dean. That's twice in his last 2 shots, Tom, that he has bounced that ball right off one of the posts.
You know, you just hate to see that, and it just doesn't feel good, but luckily they've retained possession.
Well, it reminds me a lot of a pitcher in baseball who's trying to paint the sides of the plate, and he's just missing to the outside. And same thing here with Harrison Dean. He's just on the outside of the goal, bouncing it off the post rather than tucking it in just inside the post for a goal.
Yeah, and the Maroons have just suffered yet another turnover. And if the Vipers are able to capitalize on this, that will not be good.
We move inside 80 seconds to play in the third. Vandegrift in control, shot from distance by Matt Draken over the top of goal. And Aiden Kemp will bring the ball back into play for the Vipers. 60 on the shot clock, 73 to play in the third. So they can use most of the remaining time here in the third quarter, Tom, to find the right shot and reestablish that 7-goal advantage.
Yes, absolutely.
So Connor Stevens working on the far side wearing number 18. He's goal line extended. Marked by number 23, Charlie Schlott. Schlott now trying to press Stevens into making a move. He does so, tries to loop inside, gets away from Schlott, and he will score the 4th goal of the game for number 18, Connor Stevens. And it's back to a 7-goal advantage for the Vipers. We'll take a look at the replay here. And as Schlott tried to move in and force Stevens to make a move, Stevens gets around Schlott and makes him pay as it's back to a 7-goal lead. Vipers 11, Austin High Maroons 4. So back to the center circle as Kevin Stein and Banyan Frugu will face off. Another contested face-off, turning into a ground ball opportunity. And the ball still in the air and finally controlled by number 23, Jack Slabage for the Vipers. So after all that effort, the Maroons still fail to win possession. And now the Vandegrift Vipers with the last opportunity, 17 seconds to play in the third.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the transition here.
Penalty coming up against Austin High. Vandegrift will play the advantage, and with the goal with 7 seconds to play in the third, it's number 33, Chase Phillips for Vandegrift.
That was just a good, hard effort there that deemed him just what he was looking for.
Phillips with his first goal of the match, and this is now the largest lead in this state semifinal for Leander Vandegrift. They now lead 12-4 over Austin High, and we have 7 seconds to play, but we also have a penalty here. And adding insult to injury, it's a penalty against Austin High. So now Vandegrift with 7 seconds to play in the third, and they'll take this man-up advantage into quarter number 4.
Yes, absolutely. And I think the Vipers are starting to smell a little blood in the water at this pace, being up by 8 goals.
So the face-off between Cove Kralich and Fruga. Whistles everywhere. And they'll force Kemp to go to the sideline since he lost his helmet. So he'll have to stay on the sideline until the next stoppage in play, which will come in 1 second, although all 4 officials meeting here today at midfield for this call. So normally in lacrosse you have 3 officials. Tom, we have the umpire, the referee, and the side judge, and it looks like the standby referee is also out there assisting them with this call.
I don't think he's coming back in the game anyway. You know,
Well,
they face off and head to the sidelines.
And that may be something to consider here, because if the score stays like it is right now, and obviously it will at the end of the third quarter with only 1 second to play, but if this 8-goal lead moves into the waning moments of the fourth quarter, then at some point, if you're Tim Troutner, do you start resting your guys and saving them for tomorrow and giving some of those younger players an opportunity for experience in the state semifinal?
You know, I don't think so. I think he wants his starters and his team captains. I think he wants them out there because they've got plenty of time to rest. I think they're going to keep the heat on, yet they will substitute as needed.
And folks, the horn sounds ending quarter number 3 in this Class A state semifinal at Mustang Stadium. 12 minutes remain before one of these teams will punch their ticket to the state championship. Vandegrift Vipers 12, Austin High Maroons 4. We'll be back with the fourth and deciding quarter right here on Game On Sports Network. Folks, we welcome you back here to quarter number 4 in the Texas High School Lacrosse League Class A state semifinal. Alongside Tom McGee, this is Brian Shackelford bringing you the action here from Mustang Stadium on the campus of Magnolia West High School. And while we have a moment, folks, Game On Sports Network would like to thank one of their sponsors for the Texas High School Lacrosse League State Championships, the McKinney Police Association. Folks, the McKinney Police Association is raffling a vehicle at their annual charitable golf tournament. This tournament benefits officers during trying times. Those trying times include injuries, severely sick children, and many other things that tend to burden officers with expenses out of their control. And ladies and gentlemen, you can assist this great cause by purchasing a $100 raffle ticket for your opportunity to win a brand new Cadillac CT4. The winner of this vehicle will be announced on the day of the golf tournament, which is May 24th, and you do not have to be present to win. For more information on how you can purchase a raffle ticket for a brand new Cadillac CT4, visit the website at www.cognitoforms.com/NEPservices/Crest Car Raffle to purchase your ticket today and support the McKinney Police Association. We open quarter number 4 here in this Class A state semifinal. Austin High with possession. And every possession now, Tom, for Austin High has to be a must-score possession as they trail by 8 here to start the fourth quarter.
It absolutely have. They have to. I think they're going to take smart shots, but they will. It's becoming a desperate situation here.
And that shot just wide of goal as Mudlaff will let that go out of bounds and allow Austin High to bring the ball back into play. The shot clock down to 17 for Austin High as they desperately need a goal on this possession. Working on the near side, turning around, Dean looking for a shot. Great save there by Charlie Mudlaff. That right there might be the save of the game as Dean was point blank on Mudlaff, and he flashes the edge of the big net to knock the ball away.
Yeah, I think he took a little bit too much time in shooting, but that still was a good attempt. Unfortunately, it didn't go for the Maroons.
Yeah, it looked like one deke too many for Dean, and Mudlaff equal to the task. So now Vandegrift with the ball, and they will take their time here with 10.5 to play in the game and controlling this match by a score of 12-4. They already have the shot clock down to 60 as Matt Draken will work on the far side. Going back up top with number 5, Braden Reed.
I think you're going to see the Vipers using the play clock in this last quarter extensively, Brian.
Indeed, Reed with a shot from distance, and that's blocked by the long stick midi Chad Morrison for Austin High. Now Austin High with the ball. Moving down, number 12, Sam Ramberg. Ramberg taking a bounce shot over the top of goal. And a smart play right there, Tom, by Blake Bridges. Rather than heading toward goal for the rebound, he went into X and was able to secure possession for Austin High.
Smart move by the Maroons.
And that shot by Bridges deflected Nice work there by Braden Reed to deflect that shot so Mudlaff could easily make the save. Now, down the near sideline, that's number 11, Connor Stevens, the leading goal scorer for either team. He has 4 goals in the match. And he'll control goal line extended on the near sideline as the clock moves under 9.5 to play in the fourth. And you do see the Viper players, they're keeping an eye on the shot clock here in either end zone as they're able to take advantage here in this football stadium of the play clock and using it for the shot clock here in these lacrosse matches. Now the ball back toward midfield. And great effort there by Trent Gray to allow that ball to go out of bounds, putting the shoulder into Braden Reed. And now Austin High with another possession. 9 minutes to play in quarter number 4.
Smart move by Gray to let that ball go ahead and go out. And here we have a score by the Maroons.
And the Maroons come charging back now as Blake Bridges, with his second tally of the afternoon, becomes the first multi-goal scorer for Austin High. And hold on to your hats, folks. 8:59 remaining in the fourth. It's now Vandegrift Vipers 12, Austin High Maroons 5. And could this be the start of something big here for the Old High Maroons?
Yeah, it could be. Good shot by Bridges. He's a junior attack man, and they rely on him, and he's going to be back next year, regardless of the outcome today.
And that face-off win clean for number 47, Aiden Kemp. A give and go on the far sideline as Kemp gets the ball back, goal line extended. Working on the far sideline with number 19, Tate Self. Self marked there close to the boundary by number 27, Enzo Hoopman. And now the ball brought back into play by Matt Draken, as Draken will work with Kelvin Lewis, and they'll try to take more time off the clock as we have 8.5 to play in the match, and the shot clock at 50 for the Vipers.
You can tell they're using the clock, Brian, the play clock, because there's no urgency on their part per se.
Yeah, Lewis just walking around near midfield. Now he's going to get double covered, finds the open man in number 5, Braden Reed. Reed with a bounce shot, saved by Morrison.
Good save by Morrison to keep the possession alive for the Maroons.
Indeed, and a great ground ball win there by the long stick midi number 4, Andrew Anderson. Anderson will offload now in control. That's number 28, Matthew Scotch, and now a penalty flag as Austin High will get a man-up advantage, but first they will play the advantage on this possession. But a penalty in the making here for Austin High. The cross of number 81, Jack Weaver, snaps. So now they're down 2 men right now as Weaver has to fetch another stick from the sideline.
Yeah.
On the far side, that's number 5, Blake Bridges, just scored the last goal. That bounce shot just over the top of net by number 7, Robert Bridges. And now we'll get the penalty call. It looks to be an obstruction foul against Vandegrift.
Yeah. They wish they had that shot back too. They had him where they had the goalie where they needed him, and he wasn't able to capitalize.
And obstruction is the call. As sitting in the penalty box, number 16, Wyatt Martin, now 3rd time. So, Martin evidently earning his stripes today for the Vipers. He takes care of what needs to be done defensively. So as Martin sits in the penalty box for the 3rd time this afternoon or this morning, with 7:19 to play in the fourth quarter, it will be a 1-minute advantage for the Austin Maroons, and they now have a chance to cut this lead back down to 6. It had been as many as 8.
They have to capitalize every time they get the ball in their stick, every time.
And especially here being man up. Because in lacrosse then, in a situation like this, does the penalty end if they score, or they continue to get more man up time for the full minute?
Absolutely.
So they might be able to do a 2-for-1 here if they hurry. And that shot by Dean over the top of goal, out of play. And Austin High will bring the ball back in. So really they should move here with even more alacrity if they could try to score more than 1 goal with that man-up advantage.
I think you're going to see a 2 or 3 pass and then a shot on goal. They've got to make it happen quickly.
Goal line extended on the far side, coming back around through X. They go back up top, low shot. Deflected and saved by Mudlaff. That ball bouncing off the long stick midi number 14, Noah Calhoun. And Mudlaff saw that all the way in as the Vipers will control with 6:45 to play. Working on the far side, the long stick midi number 12, Tanner Hauer for the Vipers. And across the timeline, number 22, Cooper Putnam.
22, Cooper Putnam will get across.
So Putnam with possession. And a whistle on the far side, a foul call against Vandegrift. Or no, are they taking timeout here, it looks like. And indeed they are. Timeout by the Vandegrift Vipers, 6:28 to play in the fourth. Vipers 12, Austin High Maroons 5. Back in a moment on Game On Sports Network. Folks, we return to action following the timeout by the Vandegrift Vipers. They lead 12-5 as the clock hits 6:20 to play in the fourth quarter. Moving in, that's number 6, Kelvin Lewis. A shot and a goal for Lewis. And it just looks to be the afternoon for the Vandegrift Vipers as they reestablish their largest lead of the game at 8 goals.
Yeah, they rely on that young man, and he was able to make something happen. You saw he had a straight shot right down the alley.
So Vandegrift Vipers 13, Austin High Maroons 5 with 6:15 to play in the match here at Mustang Stadium. And once again, folks, this is the Class A state semifinal, 1 of 2. The winner of this game will advance to the Texas High School Lacrosse League Class A state championship. We'll have that game for you tomorrow, 11:55 a.m. Central, with the pregame show and face-off of that Class A championship game right here, live and exclusive on Game On Sports at high noon Central Time. The face-off, a foul called and control given to number 0, Sam Rayson of the Vipers. So Rayson will come down the near side, moving into X as we cross the midway point of this fourth quarter. An errant pass out of bounds, and now I'm not sure if this is inexperienced players or perhaps the Vipers getting a little lax, but we've seen way too many unforced errors by the Vipers here in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, the tempo slowed down considerably, even though you'd think the opposite. But they're just looking at the clock and looking at the scoreboard and just doing what they seem to think is necessary.
So Sam Ramberg, number 12, controlling for Austin High. Shot clock down to 55, 5.5 remaining in regulation. Working on the far side goal line extended, Owen Watley, number 16, for the Maroons. And the loose ball, the ground ball, won back by Sam Ramberg. Harrison Dean, number 9, one of 2 men in X for the Maroons as they move the shot clock down to 35. And the Maroons need a goal here badly. A turnaround shot on the near side. A nice move there, the save made by Mudlaff. And a whistle will stop play. And it looks like they're calling a foul. We'll have to check this. No, actually, that was a goal. Let's take a look at the replay. I didn't see the officials signal a goal. So we'll check on this as Sam Ramberg, he spins around in the opposite direction. Nice super slow move there. Super slow-mo move there by our director, Tim Polster. And yes, give Ramberg the goal.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful shot.
So a goal by number 12, Sam Ramberg, makes it 13-6 advantage Vandegrift. As Vandegrift once again will control the face-off. Shot goes wide as the Vipers bring the ball back into play. Working on the far side goal line extended. That's number 47, Aiden Kemp.
I think at this juncture, Brian, all the Vipers need to do is just control the ball, move it around, finally get a shot off on goal before the time clock expires. The shot clock.
Working up top, number 1, Matt Draken, already with a goal in the game. And a whistle there. Going against Vandegrift, so Austin High with another possession. 4:14 to play. And the goals need to come quickly here for Austin High if they want to get back in this match. Down to 240 seconds to play in the game, and they need 7 goals. A shot just wide by John Burns, number 24. And the ball will be brought back into play by Blake Bridges. We have exactly 4 minutes remaining in the match here at Mustang Stadium. Going back up top, shot from distance by Tate Bryce, and that's wide. So now we're starting to see, I don't know if I would call it desperation, but we're widening our shot selection here now with 3:45 to play in the game.
Yeah, they've got to shoot every time they get the ball. 2 or 3 passes, shoot. 2 or 3 passes, shoot.
Ramberg, the latest goal scorer from the Maroons, being roughed up, and he'll draw the penalty from Cooper Putnam. And Putman now a second penalty. It appears that maybe Cooper Putman may have earned 2 penalties on that one play. We'll have to check and see. But the clock stops with 3:33 remaining in the fourth quarter. And this will be a man-up opportunity for Austin High as we check the penalty calls. So in a situation like that, Tom, if, a penalty is called against a player, allowing the offense to continue to play the advantage, and then he earns a second penalty, are those served consecutively, one after the other?
I believe so.
We'll check the calls here. A cross check. And indeed it is both penalties being assessed. The second one, a technical penalty against Cooper Putman. So this will be a 90-second man-up advantage as Putman will have to serve those penalties consecutively. So 90 seconds of man-up advantage here for the Maroons. They need to score as many goals as possible, trailing by 7.
That's almost half of what's left in this game, Brian.
Moving to the far side goal line extended. Coming back into X, looking for up top. A beautiful backhanded shot by number 6, Tate Bryce.
Doesn't get any prettier than that. Behind the back shot. That'll go on his highlight reel.
Yeah, Bryce tried to pull that off earlier and just barely missed. But we'll take a look at the replay here as Bryce goes behind the back for his second goal of the game. Right past the shoulder of Mudlaff. And now with 3:19 remaining in regulation, it's Vandegrift Vipers 13, Austin High 7. Still 60 seconds on the man-up advantage for Austin High. Ground ball off the face-off, looking for someone to control as we hit 3 minutes to play in the match.
That ball's been on the ground a while.
Finally controlled by number 66, Hollister Stevens for Vandegrift. And just throws it down in front of goal. Coming out of the goal, number 1, Haynes Morrison, and at this point he's got to take that opportunity and assume the risk. Now the ball's still loose. And of course all of this benefiting Vandegrift as time is coming off the clock. Now a whistle stops play with 2:34 to play in the fourth. And possession will be assigned to the Maroons. Number 9, Harrison Dean, still not on the scoreboard, their leading scorer all season. And the Vipers have done an outstanding job of keeping him off the score sheet. 2:20 to play.
Be looking for another shot here.
Coming out of X, the wraparound, just wide by Dean. And no one in X for the Maroons. It will be Vandegrift ball with 2 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the game. Mudlaff will bring the ball back into play for Vandegrift. Going on the far side with 2 minutes to play in the match here at Mustang Stadium in Magnolia. That ball barely scooped in by number 24, Hudson Steinberg. And now Steinberg goes down, finds the cross of number 18, Stevens. But a whistle stops play.
Timeout. White.
And a timeout will be taken here. We'll step aside. 1:47 to play in the match here at Mustang Stadium. Vipers 13, Maroons 7. Back in a moment on Game On Sports Network.
I could never love another like you, and you'll never do better than me. I don't wanna be the biggest mistake. Don't wanna be the one that got away. Jump right into the ground. Don't give up on me now. You don't wanna wake up wishing, overthinking what we could or should have changed. Jump right into the ground. Don't give up on me now. Trust my gut, but you're second guessing what we've got, but I swear the best is yet to
And we're back, a shot and a goal right off. Vandegrift with the goal. We'll take a look on the replay. It looks to be number 40, Noah Reitman. And we'll check the replay here, Tom. That's going to just about do it for the Vandegrift Vipers to punch their ticket to the state championship game.
Yeah, the goal was wide open. Heads up play by number 40. Midfielder senior.
And it's now Vandegrift 14, Austin High 7, with 104 seconds remaining in this state semifinal at Magnolia West High School. A clean face-off win for Vandegrift. Now they have the ball knocked loose. Austin High will control. Andrew Anderson. A whistle stops play with 88 ticks remaining in the match. A call made from way behind the play by the official on the far side. We'll check this call with today's officiating crew. But a beautiful play there coming out of the timeout, Tom, by Noah Reitman to give Vandegrift a 7-goal lead in this match once again.
You know, my hat's off to Tim Troutner and his bunch here. They came to play and they set the standard for moving the ball around and getting it in goal, but that doesn't take away anything from the Maroons. You put these two teams together tomorrow, and I bet it would be a different outcome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. These teams are too closely matched. Anything could happen at any given time, and it just so happens that today has been the day for the Vipers. We move inside, 1 minute remaining in this state semifinal. 50 on the shot clock, 51 on the game clock. So nothing left here for Vandegrift to do but just take this time off the clock, and they will advance to tomorrow afternoon's Texas High School Lacrosse League Class A State Championship. As you hear the Vandegrift faithful in full throat here, 30 seconds to play in the match. Reitman has the ball taken away by the long stick midi for the Maroons, number 10, Chad Morrison. Ball available near midfield. Ground ball win for number 8, Gavin Hoff. And now the shot clock no longer a factor on the change of possession, as the final 10 seconds of this semifinal tick away. A penalty flag coming in. It'll go against Austin. Hoff will get rid of the ball, 4 seconds remaining. And Tate Self will hold as the horn sounds, ending this morning's game. And ladies and gentlemen, your final score here at Mustang Stadium at Magnolia West High School. Leander Vandegrift Vipers 14, Austin High Maroons 7, and the Vandegrift Vipers advance to tomorrow's Class A state championship.
That'll be a game you don't want to miss either.
Austin Maroons, we appreciate you guys
They'll
coming
be pumped
all the way
from
here to
this
South
game
Dallas.
on.
And Vandegrift advancing today with a convincing 14-7 victory over Old High. And as we look at the stats here, Tom, and close this game out, we have 8 different goal scorers on the day for Vandegrift, led by Connor Stevens, number 18 for the Vipers, with 4 goals on the afternoon, and he just set the tone today for Vandegrift to punch their ticket to the state championship tomorrow.
He really did, and they rely on him, like I've said earlier. The young man just has what it takes to get the job done.
And Austin High outscoring Vandegrift in the fourth quarter by a score of 3-2, but too much, too little, too late for the Maroons, as they will end their season here with the loss in the state semifinal. They'll close out with an 8-11 record on the year as the number 6 seed, with the upset last Saturday in the regional quarterfinal, or in the state quarterfinal, but unable to get the job done today, as the Vandegrift Vipers, the number 2 seed here in Class A, will be in the state championship game tomorrow afternoon. We'll check in on the other score here from Magnolia High School, and the latest update I have, with about 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, Kincaid has come from behind and is leading St. John's by a score of 8-5 with less than 4 minutes to play in the match at Magnolia High School.
What an exciting game that must be going on over there, to come from behind. And we'll see who's hungry.
Indeed, and folks, don't forget to join us right back here on Game On Sports Network tomorrow for that Class A state championship game. We'll be on air with the pregame at 11:55 a.m. Central, and that face-off at high noon. But we still have more business this afternoon from Magnolia West High School, as we'll move into the Class B state semifinals coming up in just a few minutes. But as we say goodbye here in the Class A state semifinal, Tom, your final thoughts on the match here this afternoon.
Well, it wasn't what I expected it to be. The outcome, the Maroons played good, a good quarter and a half, almost for full first half, and the Vipers just took it and ran with it in the second half.
Yeah, after the first quarter tied 3-3, it was all Vandegrift from that point, as they outscored Austin by a score of 11-4 over the last 3 quarters. And a final update coming in just now from Magnolia High School: Kincaid wins that game, so it will be Houston Kincaid and Leander Vandegrift in tomorrow's Class A state championship. And folks, today's Texas High School Lacrosse League Class A state semifinal is a copyrighted production of Game On Sports Network and the Texas High School Lacrosse League. Copyright 2024, all rights reserved. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and accounts of this broadcast without the express consent of Game On Sports Network and the Texas High School Lacrosse League is strictly prohibited. And with that, we wrap up today's broadcast from Magnolia West High School. We thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for spending some of your Saturday with us. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow afternoon for the Texas High School Lacrosse League Class A State Championship right here on Game On Sports. Your final once again in our state semifinal from Mustang Stadium: Vandegrift Vipers 14, Austin High Maroons 7. So until next time, on behalf of our entire Game On Sports broadcast crew, executive producer Fred Garner, operations manager Trevor Von Dom, today's producer and director Tim Polster, our outstanding crew Chris Reniger and Tyler Rodriguez, our support staff Lisa Carrillo, Michael Gaddis, and Jen Von Dom, and my broadcast partner Tom McGee. This is Brian Shackelford, thanking you for joining us this afternoon and for your support of the 2024 Texas High School Lacrosse League State Championships. Vandegrift advances to the final tomorrow. Until then, good afternoon and God bless from Magnolia, Texas.